How can you write a perfect resume? In this video, I'm going to teach you my 5-step secret strategy to make a perfect resume and to save time and land more job interviews. I've also included a bonus secret tip just for you right at the end of this video, so make sure you stick through it. So let's get into it. Step number 1. Understanding the anatomy of a perfect resume. So first, let's understand the skeleton of a resume. A resume should have 5 to 6 sections. A perfect resume should start with a personal summary section right at the top. What I mean by that is a summary about you, your achievements, your education, your work experience, and your expertise. Some people like to write it first, but I personally like to write it at the end of my resume writing process. The next section is your contact details section, which is very important. It should include your phone number, your email, and your LinkedIn as a hyperlink. You can also include any registration number that is relevant to your trade, such as a NHS registration number for doctors. Then we jump onto the work experience section, which is basically a summary of all the jobs you've done and highlights your achievements in each job. The next section should be your skills section, which should be divided into technical and interpersonal skills. Then we move on to the next section, which is education summary, which should include information about your degrees and diplomas. The last section is completely optional, but I encourage you to put it in your resume. This could include anything that you want to highlight to the recruiter. In a nutshell, it could be your achievements, volunteering, leadership experience, or even your certifications. Okay, so now you know what are the important sections in your perfect resume. Let's jump into how you can fill each section. Step number 2, read and understand the job description. Your resume is your first point of contact with the recruiter. So in order for you to stand out from hundreds of job applications, you need to show the recruiter that you have got exactly what they're looking for. And this can only be done when you understand and read the job description. So let's look at this job description on the screen for a senior land development engineer with Invercargill Council. Since I'm a civil engineer, I will teach you exactly what I would pay attention to if I was applying for this job. I'm going to skip over the part that mentions about their company, their mission, and their values, and instead directly jump onto the part on what they require from an ideal candidate to help me craft my perfect resume. An easy and a far too obvious trick that I have developed over the years is to read the job description, create a checklist, and then tick everything off when I'm writing my resume. So when I read any job description, I like to color code the skills and the responsibilities in red, yellow, and green colors. Green is the color that I give to things which I currently have knowledge about or the responsibilities that I'm doing in my present role. Yellow is for things that I have a basic knowledge about and I can wing it in this job. And red for those things that I don't have any knowledge about. So as you can see, I have highlighted the stuff in the description in 3 different colors, red, yellow, and green. As you can see on the screen, I meet 50 to 60% of the job criteria, which is really good. But the only thing that I don't meet is the 8-year career mark. Now, typically, anyone in this position looking at the 8-year career mark might not apply for this job thinking that they are not really qualified for it. But you're wrong there. If you meet 60% of the job criteria, you have a fair shot of getting the job interview. Step number 3, achievements-focused resume format. Okay, now this is a crucial step, and a lot of people miss this when they write their resumes. To come out as a star candidate out of hundreds of job applications, you need to make sure your resume is in an active and achievements-focused resume format. This is the OG. You can make an achievements-focused resume format by following these 3 steps. Number 1, collect your achievements. Think about the last time you achieved something. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be an award. It could be just reaching a professional goal, superseding your KPIs, maybe an email from the manager for doing a good job, or a shout out at a company meeting. So basically anything that you think is an achievement and you pulled it off. If you do actually have any industry awards or awards you've gotten at your company, that's great too. Put them in there. So here on the screen is an example of how you can write your work experience section in an achievements focused format. Number 2, it's all in the numbers. The best possible way for anyone to understand your skill set and what you bring to the table is through numbers, and you should use it to your advantage. Coming to the same example, you need to put as many numbers, aka metrics, that show your KPIs and what you've achieved in your work experience summary. Number 3. Now this is what I call the what, the how, and the impact method. The perfect way for you to write your entire work experience summary section is by answering these 3 questions in every single bullet point. What did you deliver? how did you deliver, so basically your skills, and the impact of what you delivered, aka the metrics and the result. So let's look at the same example. The what is the applications, the how is the skills, and the impact is the billable hours and the number of applications. Step number 4, less is more. So if you follow this video word to word, you will be able to write your resume. But it's a possibility that your resume may end up being as long as 3 pages, so don't freak out. Sleep on it, and then the next day start refining and condensing your resume so as to explain the same thing and the same impact with lesser words. What do I mean by that? Let's learn with an example. So here's an example on the screen. The objective here is to cut down as many filler words as possible and replace them with adjectives and action verbs. Remember, based on the country you're in, you will have to stick to the page number limit. If you're in US, you'll be using a 1-page resume, and the rest of the word except the US, you'll have to stick to 2 pages. Step number 5, your skills section is your holy grail. So 90% of the time, your CV is going to be first read by a robot and then shortlisted and make it to the recruiter. In order for you to beat the robot, you need to play the keyword game. So let me teach you that with the job description on the screen. Read the job description and highlight all the skills you see or the sentences you think are skills. And think about how you can scatter these keywords on your resume. You can utilize the skills section in technical and personal skills to scatter these keywords to increase your similarity ratio. Now that you've made it to the end of the video, I want to give you my bonus secret sauce / strategy that has helped my clients land jobs all across the world. Are you ready for it? But before you do that, I want to ask you a favor to hit the like button if you found this video educational. A lot of people don't know this, but what really makes a recruiter spend more time reading your resume is your personal summary. Think about it. It is the first section of your resume right on the top that they first read. So if your first impression is bad and is general, vague, or look like all the other applicants, or even have grammatical errors, they're not going to want to read it. So you need to make sure that you spend the most amount of time refining your personal summary section with achievements, adjectives, skills, and your expertise. And this is because that is your elevator pitch to the recruiter. I hope you found this video useful, and I hope this video helps you craft your perfect resume that ends up landing you your next job interview and your next job offer. If you liked this video, you're going to love my video on 10 resume mistakes that people make, or how to land your dream job in 90 days. I'll see you next time.